88 degrees and humid as we welcome you to Wrigley Field in Chicago. It's baseball night in America, the finale of a 4-game series, the Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals. Good evening, everybody. Kenny Albert along with FP Santangelo. Cubs took the first 2 games of this series. It's a day-night doubleheader. Nationals with the Game 1 win earlier today, 3-0. Anthony Rendon with 3 more base hits. And for a Nationals team, FP, that has seen so many key players land on the disabled list this year, Rendon has been a constant.
Yeah, he's been the most consistent hitter by far for the Washington Nationals. Maybe the best-kept secret in baseball if you haven't watched the Nationals this year. Anthony Rendon hitting at .282, 12 home runs, 45 RBI. He's having a tremendous month of June, and all he did in Game 1 is hit a single up the middle, a double to left, and a triple to right center. He's played spectacular at third base as well.
And in the nightcap, Rendon and his Washington Nationals teammates must face one of the top pitchers of the National League, Jeff Samardzija. He's won only 2 games, but he's in the top 10 in both earned run average and strikeouts.
Well, he needs some run support. 8 of Samardzija's starts this year, the Cubs have scored him 1 run or less. So I would imagine all eyes on Jeff Samardzija as the trade deadline approaches, and maybe the Cubbies thinking about dealing him. But a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, a football mentality, and a guy that you just love to have on your ball club, but it's going to come at a price.
Well, the Cubs look to make it 3 out of 4 from the Nationals, while Washington hopes to sweep this twin bill and remain in first place all alone in the National League East. It's the Nationals and the Cubs coming up. Baseball night in America on Fox. Field in Chicago, celebrating its 100th anniversary season. 86 degrees, chance of thunderstorms here in Chicago. As we check out the Washington Nationals batting order, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Anthony Rendon, FP talked about him in the open. He will lead off, followed by Kevin Franzen. Jason Worth bats third. Adam LaRoche in the cleanup spot. Then left fielder Ryan Zimmerman. The catcher Wilson Ramos hits sixth. Bottom of the order, shortstop Ian Desmond, center fielder Nate McLouth, and the pitcher making his 5th start, Blake Trinan, as the Nationals face 29-year-old right-hander Jeff Samardzija, 6th in the National League in earned run average. He's 9th in strikeouts. As FP mentioned, has not received much run support from his teammates this season.
Let's check out a little scouting report on Jeff Samardzija. Fastball command. He has to throw that two-seam fastball in the strike zone early to be economical with his pitches and keep that pitch count down and let him go deep into a ball game and manage his emotions. Sometimes the football mentality for Samardzija is good, and sometimes it can hurt him where he gets frustrated, throws a little bit harder, and that sinker will flatten out.
His last start against the Nationals, a complete game win here at Wrigley last August. As we take a look at the Cubs defensively, behind Samardzija, around the infield, Rizzo, Barney, Castro, and Valbuena. In the outfield, Coghlan, Sweeney, and Shearholtz, with Castillo behind the plate. It is the first scheduled doubleheader here at Wrigley Field since July 4th of 1983.
But what other place would you want to play 2 games in one day? Beautiful Wrigley Field. Great day for baseball, beautiful weather all day, and here we go with game 2.
Anthony Rendon leads off, swings at the first pitch, sends it to right center, and the catch is made by the center fielder, Ryan Sweeney, for out number 1. So Rendon is retired, had 3 hits in game 1 for rookie manager, the 5-time All-Star Matt Williams.
And we got to catch up with him between games, and he was talking about how they're not trying to sweep a doubleheader. They're just trying to win one game. They won the first game and now trying to win the second one. And the Cubs on the other side are going for 3 out of 4 against the first-place Washington Nationals.
Cubs won the first 2. 5-3 on Thursday, 7-2 yesterday. Nationals coming back with a 3-0 victory earlier today. Kevin Franzen 2 for 5 with a home run. Lifetime against Jeff Samardzija.
Interesting move by Williams, starting Kevin Franzen both games at second base. Danny Espinosa has been the regular second baseman for the Nationals all season long. And Williams going with Kevin Franzen in both games. Espinosa in some kind of scuffle.
Denard Span out of the Nationals starting lineup for game 2. Franzen 0 for 4 in the opener. Jason Worth on deck. 1 out. Top of the first inning here at Wrigley. Nationals at 42-38, tied atop the National League East with the Atlanta Braves, who defeated the Phillies earlier today, 10-3. Now 2-2 on Kevin Franzen.
And like we said in the open for Jeff Samardzija, key that he's in the strike zone early with that fastball. A guy that I've watched go from a thrower to one of the best pitchers in the National League. I think early on in his career when the going got tough, he would rear back throw even harder, but he's learned how to kind of throttle down in big situations. I know if I was looking at him, I'd want him on my team if I was a scout.
For Samardzija, his 83rd career start. It's his 3rd full season as a starting pitcher. He is the only pitcher in all of baseball who has made at least 16 starts this season, has an earned run average under 3, but has only 2 wins. And you talked about the lack of run support. The count now full on Franzen.
The Cubs have scored 1 run or less in 8 of Jeff's starts this year.
Wow.
I mean, as a pitcher, you start thinking, I got to be perfect. If I give up a run, I'm going to lose a game. That's a tough way to pitch.
Payoff pitch to Franzen, fouls it off to the right side. And 5 times in Samardzija's 16 starts, the Cubs have not scored at all. But the Cubs are playing better baseball. They started the season 20-34 over their first 54 games under first-year manager Rick Renteria, but since then, they've won 14 out of 25.
Yeah, and the first 2 games of the series, they took it to the Washington Nationals. There's no other way to say it. You know, I think a lot of teams come in here and think that the Cubs aren't going to give them a fight. They kind of let their guard down, and next thing you know, they lost a couple games.
Diving stop by Castro. Franzen safe at first.
What a great effort right there by Starlin Castro. You know, Kenny, I was watching him during batting practice the other day. I had no idea he had the cannon that he has. I knew he had range. I knew he was a good shortstop. But watching him throw from shortstop in batting practice, an above-average arm, one of the better arms I've seen this year. But look at the effort by Castro laying out. I mean, that's not saving a run. This is the first inning, second hitter of the game. And there was questions about Castro and his effort in years past. I think you can put that one to bed. I've watched him play for 4 games now, and he's played as hard as anybody on this diamond. He's got a different attitude of the way he's approaching the game, or at least in the handful of games I've seen the Cubs play this year.
So an infield hit for Franzen. Jason Worth fouls the first pitch from Samardzija back to the screen, 0-1. Worth only 8 hits in his last 55 at-bats. Did not play in the opener today. 0-2.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been in the middle of a scuffle lately as well. And usually when Jason Worth isn't producing with hits and batting average, he's a guy that'll work counts and walk, but he hasn't even taken his walks of late. Been very aggressive up there and, you know, working hard every day to find it, but just really hasn't.
Castro to second for one. Out to first. Double play. The Cubs turn the 6-4-3. Tangelo, bottom of the first inning. Batting order for the Cubs, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Boss. Chris Coughlin leads off, followed by Ryan Sweeney. Anthony Rizzo will hit third. Starlin Castro in the cleanup spot. Then Luis Valbuena, Wellington Castillo. Nate Shearholz, the right fielder, bats seventh. Then second baseman Darwin Barney. And the pitcher Jeff Samardzija ninth. As the Cubs get set to face 26-year-old right-hander Blake Trinan, called up from AAA Syracuse to pitch the second game of today's Twin Bill, his 5th start this season and in his major league career.
Well, the sinker key for Blake Trinan, throw it in the strike zone. It goes 93 to 98 miles an hour. He's had trouble throwing it for strikes. The slider and change, his out pitch, is a work in progress. And he's 6'5". He throws downhill. And that makes it tough on a hitter. But he has to keep the ball down. If he's on, you'll see a lot of ground balls.
Strike one to Coughlin. 3 for 7 in the series. Fastball missing low and inside. Now 1-1. Trinan looking for his first major league victory. He's 0-3 this year. 4-0 in AAA.
You talk about max effort pitchers. Blake Trinan is the absolute opposite of max effort. Watch how easy he throws 95. If you wouldn't look at the radar on the left, you'd think he's throwing changeups.
On the ground to the first baseman, LaRoche takes it to the bag himself to retire Coughlin for out number 1.
It's just a very relaxed, very compact motion where he stays closed and over the mound, but watch how easy this is. And he'll hit 98, 99 miles an hour at times. The struggle for him has been throwing strikes. When he does, you'll see a lot of ground balls and you'll see some strikeouts.
One away, here's Ryan Sweeney. And he takes strike 1 from Blake Trinan.
I mean, it should be a good one, right? You got 2 pitchers that throw mid to upper 90s, good sinking fastballs. Going right after hitters, this is what I like.
Trinan making his 5th major league start. Dallas Buehler made his major league debut as the starter for the Cubs in game 1 today and pitched very well. Did not allow an earned run in 6 innings.
Yeah, you and I talked to him in the clubhouse after the game, and he said, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I'd be out there. But did a great job. Emulates Roy Halladay's windup is dead on, Doc. I mean, we did a split screen on it the first game, and it was just unbelievable, the comparison. He said, you know, he's coming back from some arm problems. One of his coaches said, hey, why don't you try to emulate somebody? So they had video of Roy Halladay, and his windup is dead on, and he did a nice job for the Cubs in game 1. Got his first big league hit in the first pitch he saw.
Buehler, 25 years of age, out of Oral Roberts University. I like the quote from general manager Theo Epstein. He told Buehler, and he said he often tells young pitchers when they first come up, if you throw a no-hitter, you're going back to AAA. If you don't get out of the first inning, you're going back. So just relax and be yourself. Sweeney down on strikes. 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. For the Nationals defensively, around the infield, LaRoche, Franzen, Desmond, and Rendon. In the outfield from left to right, Zimmerman, McLouth, and Worth. The battery of Trinan and Ramos.
Well, I got news for you. I throw a no-hitter, you're going to have to drag me back to Iowa, because I am staying in the clubhouse.
Good point. Anthony Rizzo, first pitch. Bounce out to the shortstop, Ian Desmond. A 1-2-3 first on 11 pitches for Trinan. Jeff Samardzija faces the middle of the Nationals order when we return. Game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Second inning here at Wrigley Field. Cubs and Nationals are scoreless as Adam LaRoche, the son of a former Chicago Cub, steps in to face Jeff Samardzija. LaRoche, Zimmerman, and Ramos for the Nationals here in the top of the second inning. LaRoche 3 hits in the series. He's 10th in the National League with a .306 average.
Well, if you're facing Jeff Samardzija, he's got so much deception in his delivery. And what do I mean by that? When you watch his turn at the top of his windup, he keeps his front shoulder closed longer than most pitchers. And what does that mean if you're standing in the batter's box? Well, he hides the ball well. I mean, you're seeing the back of his uniform most of the time, and then all of a sudden his arm and his glove and everything's coming at you at 96 miles an hour. So it's not just great stuff and great makeup and intangibles with him. There's some deception in that windup, too.
Does he remind you of any pitchers you faced in that regard?
You know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now. And, you know, facing Pedro Martinez a couple of times, former teammate of mine, he did that a lot, too, where he just keep that front side closed as long as possible.
LaRoche drills this one. Deep right field. No doubt about it. Home run number 11 on the season for Adam LaRoche. The Nationals take a 1-0 lead.
Well, if you're facing Jeff Samardzija, you have to elevate the ball and get it up in the zone. But Adam LaRoche is a good low ball hitter. And you see him stay through that baseball. And the reaction of Samardzija, as soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. 11th home run of the year for LaRoche, 42nd RBI. And in my humble opinion, I think both first basemen in this game today are all-stars. Adam LaRoche and Anthony Rizzo.
You would not get many arguments on that.
Just a tough position, right? I wouldn't want to be Mike Matheny on that one.
Only the 6th home run allowed by Samardzija this season. First in his last 4 starts.
So if you're Samardzija right now, are you thinking, with the run support I've been getting this year, I'm in trouble? That's what I meant about thinking you have to be perfect when your offense isn't picking you up.
5th lowest run support in all of baseball. Cubs have scored just over 3 runs per 9 innings for Samardzija. 2-1 to Zimmerman. Shearholtz moving to his left. 1 away. FP Hour keys to the game brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, prove your worth. Jason Worth is in a rut right now, but he's been the most clutch hitter for the Nationals the last 3 years. He's a guy that's carried this ball club, kind of changed the mindset from losing to winning all by himself. And Rizzo and Castro, all-stars? Yeah, why not? Anthony Rizzo, 14 homers since April 30th, the most in the National League, and he's tied for 6th in the majors since that day. And all Starlin Castro is doing is hitting .284 with 88 hits.
Wilson Ramos, 3 hits and 6 at-bats since coming off the disabled list. Batting .276 on the season. Did not play in Game 1. Adam LaRoche, 11th home run of the season, giving Washington the early lead.
It's an all-star beard, too, by the way.
Sure is. One-two to Ramos. First strikeout for Jeff Samardzija. His 98th on the season. Our lows never stop improving. Pitcher profile. Jeff Samardzija, one of only 5 National League pitchers with 200 or more innings pitched and 200 or more strikeouts last season. Some pretty impressive names on that list.
That's a big boy list right there.
Lowe's never stop improving.
Well, you see the Nationals right now, they're trying to get pitches up from Samardzija, and if you're facing him, that's exactly what you want to do. If that sinker starts at your knees at 96, it's all you're going to do is beat it into the ground. I think the same holds true for the Cubs and facing Blake Trinan. Both teams' eyes are lighting up when they see a ball belt high. Anything below that's going to be a ball.
Ian Desmond falls behind 0-2. He has terrific career numbers against Samardzija. As Matt Williams pointed out to us prior to the game, 8 for 16 with a home run. But not this time. Samardzija wins the battle, his second straight strikeout. However, the Nationals take the lead. Number 11 on the season off the bat of Adam LaRoche. 1-0 Washington. Sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company. This is where a new conversation begins. 1-0 lead for the Washington Nationals on an Adam LaRoche home run. National starting pitcher Blake Trinan has never allowed a home run in his major league career. 31 1/3 innings. Most innings pitched of any active pitcher who has not yet allowed a long ball.
Well, he has a true sinker that goes straight down. It's hard to elevate. That's the key for the Cubs hitters today, is try to get it up like that one right there. But that was a good pitch on the black.
12 pitches thrown by Trinan so far tonight, 11 strikes.
Man, we said that would be a key, getting that strike zone.
Missing inside, now 1-1. Starlin Castro, just 1 for 11 in this series, leads the Cubs with 47 runs batted in. 1-1 from Trinan up the middle. Frames it across, one away.
Well, you just see how deadly that sinker is right now from Trinan. I don't know how good they're picking Trinan up. There's some shadow problems right now. It didn't affect Adam LaRoche in his home run, but look at the run on that sinker. Left-handed, you got a chance. Right-handed, if he's there all night. I mean, how do you keep that ball fair? That was a nice job by Castro to fight it up the middle. He just didn't get the barrel of the baseball.
Got to look at the shadows. The elements have certainly been a factor during this series. The fog on Thursday night of the series opener.
That was crazy. Ryan Zimmerman lost the ball in left field. Denard Span lost the ball in center field. And you want to talk about the 100-year anniversary of Wrigley Field. It seemed like the fog set in when the Cubs were hitting, and then when the Nationals were up, the fog lifted.
Of course.
It's Denard Span on Thursday. Look at everybody pointing. Denard Span has no idea where this ball is.
And that was with Valbuena at the plate.
I was here in 1999, Kenny, with the Giants. There was a similar game, and Dusty Baker came out in the 5th inning. He had a fungo, and he grabbed it between innings and went to home plate and was fungoing pop-ups to me in center field. I lost 3 of them, and they pulled us off the field.
Valbuena with a base hit into right field. Did not need assistance from the fog this time. He was credited with a triple into the fog on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'll take it. He'll take this base knock here, too. Look at this swing by Valbuena, who's coming around lately. He's a guy that was really protecting Starlin Castro early in the year, went through a bit of a funk, and now his swing is back, and that was a nice piece of hitting right there with 1 out.
First base runner for the Cubs tonight.
I thought the smartest thing about Dusty Baker hitting fungos in the fog that night between innings was hitting them to me and not Barry Bonds in left. He knew that if he hit me in the head, he'd be okay.
Wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Here's Wellington Castillo. Came off the disabled list last Sunday. Castillo 1 for 3 in the series opener on Thursday. This is his first start since. Off the plate, fielded by Rendon. And the Nationals get the lead runner at second in Valbuena. So now 2 away. Next Saturday, it's a full day of Major League action, beginning with the Diamondbacks and Braves on Fox Sports 1. Then it's Baseball Night in America on Fox. Orioles take on the Red Sox, Giants and Padres, or the Rangers and the Mets. Our MLB doubleheader begins next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 7 Eastern right here on Fox. Two away, runner on first. Here is Nate Scherholz, 0 for 4 in the series. Batting just 199.
He's a guy that had a big year for the Cubs last year. 251 average, 21 homers, 68 RBI. He just hasn't really got on track so far in 2014. And if you remember his stance last year, and I'm sure Cubs fans out there do, he was a little more crouched than he is right now, really on his legs. This guy I actually coached in A-ball for the Giants in San Jose, and always had the talent, always had the ability. He's an above-average runner, has a cannon in right field. And you thought last year was the turning point for Scherholz when he had that big season for the Cubs. Just hasn't found it here yet this year.
0-2 from Trident, missing away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I think as a hitter, a lot of times you try to find last year and you search for it. And you start to tinker with your stance a little bit. I'm going to stand up more. I'm going to spread out more. The next thing you know, you're so far away from your last year's stance that you can't get back to it.
Two outs, bottom of the second inning in Chicago. Nationals with a 1-0 lead. A 1-2 from Trident. And check swing foul off the bat of Scherholz. Count remains 1-2.
Looks like I got some Red Bull in there. And you need some Red Bull in the doubleheader. I'm sure the Red Bull's flowing in both dugouts today.
How about up in the booth?
Yeah, well, where is it? Let's go. I'm in. I'm on my second game.
Ball 2, says third base umpire Tom Woodring. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. Mike DeMuro at first base. Mike Estabrook at second. Woodring over at third. 2-2 from Trinan. Three Nationals converge, and it's off the glove of McLeod, the center fielder. So the Cubs now have runners on the corners. Diving attempt by Nationals center fielder Nate McLeod.
Well, sometimes a hit like this will get you going. And I know that's what Nate Scherholtz is thinking on first base right now. Nate McLeod catches that, and a nice effort by the Nationals center fielder. Nate Scherholtz is saying, well, that's just the story of my season. And now you start thinking differently when you get one to drop. Nice effort by McLeod. And I was wondering if Valbuena was thinking about, or Castillo, excuse me, was thinking about scoring right here. Because the ball was in center field for a long time. Kevin Franzen slipped. They had trouble picking it up, and you had a chance to send him.
Second hit of the inning for the Cubs. Here's Darwin Barney. In the hole at short, it's Desmond. Out at second is Scherholtz. So the Nationals get out of the inning. Cubs strand two.
Well, you think Rick Renteria is going to check this out on a replay. Was he out or was he safe at second base? Great hustle by Scherholtz. He runs very well. Good play by Desmond, and here comes Renteria for a challenge.
Renteria looking back towards the dugout. On that initial look, certainly seems like the right call.
You know what gets lost in all these shuffles, whether they're going to replay, whether they're not, whether they're going to challenge it, whether they're not. The play that was made. What a play by Ian Desmond. I thought his only chance was to first base. He decided to go to second, and I think based on that first replay, like you said, Kenny, that they got him.
And you saw Renteria backing his way out as he looks for the signal from the dugout.
Hard to tell if Scherholtz's foot is on the bag, whether it came up off it or was on it, but the throw definitely beat him.
So no challenge from Rick Renteria. And as we said, certainly appeared to be the right call. Albert F.P. Santangelo. We move to the third. Nationals with a 1-0 lead on the Cubs as Nate McLeod gets set to lead off against Jeff Samardzija. And we are joined live from the Cubs dugout by right-hander Jake Arrieta, who will start Chicago's next game on Monday night against the Red Sox at Fenway. Jake, thanks for taking a couple of minutes.
No problem, guys. Good to be with you.
So in your last start on Tuesday against the Reds, you retire the first 18. What was going through your mind when you came out for the seventh?
I was trying to gain my composure and try and catch my breath from the bottom of the sixth there. Quite a long inning from that aspect. That's a pretty good swing by McLouth right there. Really wanted to kind of stay in the same routine, same rhythm. Not try and do more than I had been the first 6 innings, and just continue to try and force some contact and see what happens.
Yeah, how are you handling it on the bench? It seems like guys are talking about it nowadays more than they used to, like bringing it up where you used to get shots of guys sitting by themselves. I didn't see it. Were you talking about it?
We kind of go through. I would go through the same mid-inning routine. I'd kind of run up in the tunnel, sit in the film room for a second. Say what's up to some of the guys walking back and forth, and really not acting like anything out of the ordinary was going on. And I think really that's the best way to approach it. Not try and be too quiet. In the dugout, trying to stay away from guys. I think you just kind of approach it the same way if you're giving up a couple runs or a couple hits, whatever the case might be, and just keep making pitches.
Sacrifice by Trinan, moving McLouth over to third, and Nate McLouth, the former teammate of yours with the Orioles.
Right, I really liked watching Nate play. Tremendous outfielder, and he's got a great swing. It's nice to see. Man, I just got worn out right there. It's nice to see him, swinging the bat well, and I wish him some continued success because he's a great player.
And Jake, talking about your time with the Orioles, I mean, power fastball, power slider, never really put it together there. And I was reading an article where you said you kind of beat yourself up after a lot of starts as you look at the fly ball to center field.
Yeah, and guys, I think that's something that a lot of young players go through. Trying to figure out how to deal with that. The failures that you're going to have at the big league level, because everybody knows that we're going to go through those. It's just a matter of how you handle that and recover and try and come out and prepare yourself for the next time out. And I feel like I've been able to find a routine that's been successful, and I'm pretty confident with it. So I'm going to keep it rolling and see what happens.
Sacrifice fly, run batted in for Anthony Rendon, extending the Nationals' lead to 2-0. Kevin Franzen steps in as we chat with 28-year-old right-hander Jake Arrieta, who will start for the Cubs against the Red Sox on Monday night. Franzen, an infield single, his first time up. Jake, you're coming up on a year, the trade from the Orioles last July 2nd. So you've had the opportunity to play in 2 of the great ballparks, Camden Yards and now Wrigley Field.
Absolutely. Camden, a lot of history there. One of the newer, of the new ballparks. I don't know exactly the date it was built, but I know it was kind of, one of those that was the first to kind of set the trend of the new parks being built. And, it's a pretty special place to pitch for me. The aesthetics of it, the warehouse in right field. It's just a great ballpark to pitch. Not necessarily the most pitcher-friendly place to throw, but a lot of good memories there. And then obviously here in Wrigley, the tradition that's here, it's also another great place to throw.
Well, Jake, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. Continued success.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Jake Arrieta of the Cubs as Franzen grounds out to Valbuena. Nationals extend their lead. It is now 2-0 Washington. Welcome back to Baseball Night in America from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Bottom of the third inning. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Nationals. No runs on 2 hits for the Cubs. As Jeff Samardzija leads off against Blake Trinan. Samardzija batting 182 this season, 126 for his career. Bounces right back to Trinan for out number 1. Well, entering play today, the Nationals lead all of baseball in earned run average. One of 2 pitching staffs in the majors to rank in the top 6 in starters, ERA, and relief earned run average. Rafael Soriano with 19 saves. Gio Gonzalez, the win of the opener today, did not allow an earned run in 7 innings.
Yeah, fewest earned runs allowed. That's first in the majors with 249.
Coughlin, first pitch, center field, McLeod, 2 away.
And home runs allowed, they're tied for first with 49. And look at the bullpen. First in the big leagues with a 2.36 ERA. Tough to get knocks against this staff. That's why you think they suit so well if they get into that big tournament in October in a 5-game series. You throw some pretty big arms at whoever. But, long way to go, and you have to get there first.
Nationals made it to the postseason in 2012, won 98 games, most in all of baseball. Finished 10 games under 500 last season. Tied atop the National League East with the Atlanta Braves. 0-2 to Sweeney, who struck out his first time up. Two from Trinan. Sweeney strikes out for the second time. A 7-pitch third for Blake Trinan. Adam LaRoche went deep back in the second inning. 2 up second for the Nationals when we come back. Fox is sponsored by Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. And by T-Mobile. Back at Wrigley Field, top of the fourth inning. Nationals with a 2-0 lead on the Cubs, with Springfield, Illinois native Jason Worth leading off for the Nationals. And we welcome in from the Washington dugout, Wilmington, Illinois native Tanner Roark, who started yesterday's game for Washington. Tanner, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, 5,724 people in Wilmington. I think they were all here yesterday for your start.
Yeah, there was a lot of Wilmington proud folks. So it's great support. I love it.
Well, how did it affect you? I mean, did you feel like you had the need to impress the home folks yesterday? Were you relaxed?
I think I got the jitters out last year whenever I came up for the first time, and there was people chanting out in the bleachers my name, and about 75 people deep out there. So it was, I got my jitters out then. But it was a tough game yesterday. My sinker wasn't sinking as much as I would like it to, but it's one of those days.
Glad you're still with us. We heard some commotion down there as Worth sends this one to the shortstop, Castro. So how many tickets were you on the hook for yesterday?
Actually, everybody always, what's good about it, they always get good tickets before I even have to give any out. So I just got my brother and his girlfriend some tickets, and of course my wife and daughter, but that's really about it.
Well, Tanner, take us through the journey. Last year at this time, or close to last year at this time, you were a relief pitcher in Syracuse in AAA. You've been the unsung hero of the national staff this year. What's it been like?
It's amazing. It's still surreal. Very, very much surreal, and I've dreamed for this ever since I was 4 years old. So finally being able to be in the major leagues and pitch and just come out here and try to win ball games, it's awesome.
Adam LaRoche lines out to Castro with the Cubs employing the shift. Castro, FP, in perfect position.
Well, he's in, and the reason he's in is because Adam LaRoche, down by 2 the other night, laid down a perfect base hit bunt to get the tying run to the plate in the form of Ryan Zimmerman. So once you lay down a bunt, you draw the infield in. Castro coming over to third base and does a great job of handling a bullet off the bat of Adam LaRoche. Probably saw his life flash before his eyes. That ball was crushed.
So here's Ryan Zimmerman with 2 away. So, Tanner, you grew up about an hour south of Chicago. Did you attend many Cubs games as a youngster?
Oh, yeah. We came up here a lot, all the time, sitting in the bleachers, and then, my grandma would take me and my brother and my sister sit in the stands. So it's now it's this kind of very surreal just to play on the field. And I grew up a Cubs fan, so.
Any favorite players, specific memories that stand out?
Mark Grace, Sammy Sosa, all the Cubs greats. Greg Maddux, it's just, I've learned a lot, and it's always been exciting to watch him.
Mark Ray celebrating a birthday today.
Well, happy birthday, Mark.
Well, he's the kind of guy you wanted to get to first base just to talk to him. Great guy. What's it like pitching on a staff with Steven Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, Jordan Zimmerman, Doug Fister?
It's great. I've learned a lot from them. I try to pick their brains and try to watch each pitch that they throw to hitters, and it's been very educated just to come out here and watch them and learn, because they got great stuff and they have experience and they're veterans, so it's a good learning experience as well.
Well, Tanner, congratulations on your success. Welcome home, and thanks for taking a couple of minutes.
Hey, thank you guys.
So we only interview guys with beards, I see. It's nice. Jake Arrieta beard, Tanner Roark beard, and there's some kind of thunderstorm approaching this ballpark right now. Look out.
FP has his umbrella ready here in the broadcast booth. 2-2 to Zimmerman, and he is down on strikes. Third strikeout for Samardzija. A 10-pitch, 1-2-3, fourth.
it's only going to last about a half hour.
Only about a half hour?
Yeah, that's what he's telling me.
Well, I guess this, when...
I got my guys, and they come out, I got my guys.
Yeah, give me like the 2-minute warning. Like when you're, you know, as soon, it's going to hit us for sure. We're good?
As of right now, he's telling me it's going to hit us.
Well, keep me updated. Every half inning we'll talk. And, you know, as it gets closer, just give me the 2-minute warning and then we'll pull it. I want to give you enough time to get it.
The weather update to Hunter Wendelstedt from the head groundskeeper, Roger Baird. Looks pretty ominous.
Yeah, it's coming. I think it's starting to rain already. Look at the warning track in left center field.
Wow.
The wind's whipping and it's about to get nasty.
Dirt blowing off the warning track in left center as Anthony Rizzo leads off against Blake Trinan. Bottom of the 4th inning. Washington Nationals with a 2-0 lead on the Cubs. Rizzo grounded out to the shortstop Desmond, his first time up. Rips this one foul down the right field line. Castro on deck, then Valbuena. The 2-2 to Rizzo. And the catch is made coming in from shallow right by Kevin Franzen for out number 1.
Well, Anthony Rizzo really hasn't given us time to talk about him. We're all queued up. We want to give him some love, and I think he should be the all-star representative for the Chicago Cubs, but he swung at the first couple of pitches, both at-bats. He said he wants to be in the home run derby. It was a dream of his as a kid, and I think he'd be a great representative of the National League in the game and the home run derby.
He has hit a team-leading 17 home runs this season. Driven in 44 runs. Starlin Castro at the plate, grounded out to the second baseman Franzen, his first time up. Castro's numbers prior to the All-Star break last year and this season.
You know, he has more home runs and more RBI than he had all of last year right now as we speak. He's been more aggressive at the plate. He was trying to get that whole take pitches, work his way on base thing down. Didn't work for him. They told him to be more aggressive this year. You see the difference in the numbers.
A slow roller. Desmond tried to barehand it. Castro on at first.
And Starlin Castro will take a good hustle out of the box, getting down the line quick. He and Desmond went do or die in the bare hand. I think even if he fielded it, Castro would have been safe. You know, that dirt in front of home plate tonight is very soft. I've been watching some ground balls hitting that first dark circle right in front of home plate. He and Desmond with the bare hand couldn't make the play. But with 2 sinker balls going tonight, they got the dirt soft in front of home plate to prevent the choppers. And both pitchers are benefiting from it. That time, not so much.
Valbuena singled his first time up. Cubs have now gone 13 innings without scoring a run. Shutout in the opener today. Their last run came in the 7th inning of yesterday's game, a 7-2 win.
Well, one thing that Rick Renteria talked about to you and I today was how he wanted his club to be relentless. And from what I saw in the first 2 games of the series, that's exactly what they were. They're not going anywhere. This is a team that'll fight you to the end, and that's the personality or the persona that Rick Renteria wants his Cubs to have.
He feels their confidence has been building as a group over these last 25 games. They've gone 14-11. He said the players are getting to know each other. They're getting to know me and my staff, building relationships, taking on a personality.
Well, you have to change the culture here in the way you think about winning and losing, and they've been doing that. You know, obviously, they're in last place, not where they want to be right now, but you know they've been fighting teams, they've been beating good teams, and that's not an easy thing to change. Well, number one, talent's going to change that when you get the minor leaguers, some big prospects in AAA right now that are tearing it up. And eventually they'll turn things around here, but right now you're just trying to change the way guys think about it and turning the page, and every day's a new day.
Valbuena, deep right field. We are tied at 2.
But check out the location of this pitch from Blake Trinan. On the inner half, Wilson Ramos, the Nationals catcher, wanted it down and away. So a location mistake, and Valbuena takes advantage. And a big 2-run blast to tie this game up. If you remember his first at-bat, he's the one Cub that's seeing Blake Trinan well. Hit a bullet to right field his first time up. Got some elevation on that. And knew what to do with it.
5th of the season for Valbuena, the first home run allowed by Trinan in his major league career. He had gone 33 2/3 innings without allowing a home run. Did not allow one of the minors this year as well. 68 2/3, combining his stints with the Nationals and AAA Syracuse. Finally allows a home run.
Well, you look at the Cubs' 4 hits tonight. Nate Scherholtz, a blooper. Starlin Castro, a chopper to short. And Valbuena's hit the ball in the screws both times. And here comes the rain.
One, two, and excuse me, check swing off the bat of Castillo. He grounds out to the first baseman LaRoche for out number 2. As the fans start to head under cover. You heard the weather report from the head groundskeeper, Roger Baird. He said it shouldn't last for more than a half hour or so.
Quick sell moving through. Let's see if they put the tarp on. I'm surprised they haven't yet, quite frankly. I mean, you heard the conversation between innings. Give me the 2-minute warning. That's to get the tarp on the field.
Perhaps the rain came a little quicker than grounds crew expected. 0-2 on Scherholtz. Cubs have tied the game on Luis Valbuena's 5th home run of the season. A 2-run shot off Blake Trinan.
I mean, it is bringing it all of a sudden.
And that will do it. Hunter Wendelstedt waves the players off the field. Here comes Roger Baird and his crew at 7:16 on a Saturday evening here in Chicago. Bottom of the 4th inning, tied at 2. We are officially in a rain delay in the second of a day-night doubleheader. First scheduled twin bill here at Wrigley since July 4th of '83. Cubs and the Montreal Expos. So we will return to Chicago as soon as the rain dissipates. For FP Santangelo, this is Kenny Albert. We send it to Los Angeles. Here's Ryan Field. With the Nationals and the Cubs tied at 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning as we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Kenny Albert, FP Santangelo. So what have you been doing over the last 50 minutes?
Eating potato chips.
Yeah, I noticed.
That was absolutely fantastic. No, I sit here, you watch them put the tarp on, you watch them go through all that, and then you're wondering if the pitchers are going to come back into the game. And Blake Trinan with 56 pitches, Jeff Samardzija with 46 pitches. They're both loose. They're both ready to go.
And both starting pitchers have allowed a home run. Home runs accounting for 3 of the 4 runs so far in this game. Adam LaRoche, second inning off Jeff Samardzija solo shot.
Yeah, that was a split, a 2-2 split that just stayed up. LaRoche took advantage of it, kind of caught it out front, rode it out of the ballpark, and this is a 3-1 fastball for Blake Trinan right down Broadway. And Valbuena, the one guy that's seen Trinan better than the rest of the Cubs, a couple of hits and a home run to tie this game at 2, and that's where we stand.
First home run ever allowed by Blake Trinan. Our game summary brought to you by Moto G from Motorola. To this point, a 53-minute rain delay. Valbuena, the 2-run shot, his 5th of the year. LaRoche solo home run, his 11th. And for the Nationals, Anthony Rendon with a sacrifice fly, accounting for the other Washington run. And there is Blake Trinan warming up in the Nats pen, his 5th start of the season, 5th career start, looking for his first Major League victory. Wichita, Kansas native, going up against Jeff Samardzija. Their numbers so far tonight.
Yeah, Trinan with 56 pitches, 40 of those strikes. He's done a nice job with the 2-seam fastball, keeping it down, a couple of hard hit balls. And Jeff Samardzija with 46 pitches, 33 of those strikes. He's done a good job as well. Just giving up that solo home run to Adam LaRoche and then a leadoff double to McLeod. They moved him, and a sac fly by Anthony Rendon. Both pitchers pitching well.
Blake Trinan heading down from the bullpen as the Nationals get set to take the field. Nationals still without Bryce Harper, but he is playing tonight for AA Harrisburg, and he has gone deep twice against the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Well, he's ready. Call him up. Where are you hung up right now? 2 for 3, 2 home runs, 2 RBI. The thumb must be strong, and they say July 1st. That's the date the Nats are shooting for, so we'll see. But Bryce Harper, all systems go with a couple of taters tonight.
July 1st, this coming Tuesday. And how about this, FP? Harper rehabbing with AA Harrisburg. He is the youngest player on their roster.
Well, it totally makes sense. He was the 3rd youngest player on the roster when we went to A-Ball Potomac, so just kind of puts it in perspective how young Bryce Harper is. I think a lot of times people forget.
So Matt Williams anxiously awaited the return of Bryce Harper. There is Jeff Samardzija, who warmed up for quite some time. He has not thrown a pitch in over an hour.
Well, I think, the time of season it is, the amount of pitches that he threw already, and those guys will stay loose underneath. I know not the greatest facilities underneath here at Wrigley Field as far as the cages go, but Samardzija came out, played a lot of catch. He threw way more than Blake Trinan. I thought that was very interesting. Nate Scherholtz with a 2-strike count right now. Trinan warmed up way later than Samardzija did, and he is ready to go.
Trinan's first ever start here at Wrigley Field, his first start against the Cubs. What a story. He attended the University of Arkansas, but they did not have a program for walk-ons, so then it was on to Baker University in Kansas. He played for the JV team and then walked on at South Dakota State University.
Well, the guy you're watching tonight threw 79 miles an hour in college. He went to University of Arkansas because he liked the major there. He walked into the coach's office and says, I want to talk to the coach. They said, he's not here right now. I watched the coach walk right by and said, I want to talk to him. And they said, well, if we give you a tryout, we have to give the whole state of Arkansas a tryout. They didn't let him play at Arkansas. A couple of transfers later and some weight room work. He got his fastball up in the mid-80s. And the rest, they say, is history. Now he's a big league pitcher throwing 98 miles an hour. So for all you kids out there, there's different ways to get to the big leagues. It's not always being a first-round pick.
Drafted in the 7th round by Oakland back in 2011. As we resume play, the 1-2 to Scherholtz, and he fouls it back. So a rain delay of just under 1 hour, 55 minutes. And we resume play here at Wrigley with 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-2 game. 1-2 from Trinan, missing high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Trinan, drafted by Oakland, came to the Nationals January of 2013 in the Michael Morse deal.
And when he went to Arkansas and they wouldn't let him walk on, he actually got to lift weights more than he would have if he was a player. He got in the weight room. He got his fastball from 79 to the mid-80s. And then at Christmas break, he went to a pitching clinic held by a guy named Don Ches. Paid $20 for it. The guy said, "Hey, I got a guy here for you." And now he's on a big league mound.
$20 certainly paid off. Sherhall strikes out. 4 innings in the books here in Chicago. Following the rain delay, Cubs and Nationals tied at 2.
Yeah, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night.
In baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Don't miss the 85th All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 15th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Top of the 5th in Chicago as Wilson Ramos leads off against Jeff Samardzija. Cubs and Nationals tied at 2. Ramos' first pitch, deep center. It is gone. The Nationals go back on top. Second of the season for Ramos on the first pitch thrown by Jeff Samardzija in over an hour following the rain delay.
So let's check out the pitch to Wilson Ramos, affectionately called the Buffalo by Nats fans. That was a location mistake from Samardzija. We said how he warmed up a lot. Well, his first pitch back, he missed his spot that was supposed to be away. It ran down and in, and Wilson Ramos got all of that one to make this a 3-2 game.
Second home run for the Nationals tonight.
You know, I think it's tougher for pitchers to get back into the rhythm they had in the flow of a ball game with the rain delay than it is position players. And I think that first pitch by Samardzija is a perfect example. He was starting to get into a little bit of a groove. After giving up the leadoff double to Nate McLouth in the third, he retired a bunch of hitters in a row and then has to wait for 50-plus minutes and hangs one on the first pitch, and Wilson Ramos takes advantage. You know, this game's about rhythm and flow, and if you talk to pitchers, it's a huge part of their game. You know, position players, you strap it on, go out there and figure it out in a second, but for pitchers, that's the hardest part.
One-two to Ian Desmond, who strikes out for the second time tonight.
You know, Ian Desmond has been caught in between for the Nationals for a while, and what do I mean by caught in between? You know, every time he takes a pitch, he's sitting on off speed, he gets a fastball. He's sitting on fastball, you get off speed. And then as a hitter, you start to get in your own head, and you get into this guessing game. And right now, Ian Desmond is in a very evil guessing game because he's not guessing right. Nice comeback strikeout by Samardzija.
First time all season, FP, Samardzija has allowed 2 home runs in one start. In fact, going back to last year, he'd gone 19 consecutive starts without allowing more than 1 home run.
Well, he's been pitching well today. He's just made 2 mistakes. The 2-2 split to LaRoche that didn't do anything, and then a fastball to Wilson Ramos, who's a first pitch fastball guy, just in the wrong spot.
Nate McLouth hit by the pitch, awarded first base.
Let's see where it got him. Couldn't tell right there. It must have bounced and hit him in the back knee. You know, that's reviewable. If you want to challenge it and you don't think a pitch hit somebody, you could look at the replay and check it out. And I'm trying to find out where that hit Nate McLouth. It's definitely not the front foot. And that is a big-time acting job based on that replay we just saw. Nate McLouth trying to get on base any way he can for his ball club, and his manager has to appreciate that. And I'm kind of shocked the Cubs didn't review that.
Treinen bunts it foul. Treinen laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt his first time up, which helped lead to the Nationals' second run.
I must confess I've done that before. Hard to tell full speed if the ball's hit you or not. The worst thing it can do is bring you back.
Let's take one more look.
What do you got? Did it get him in the shoe? I think it's past his shoe.
Yeah,
unless I'm
tell.
seeing things, I thought that's past his shoe. And I think he limped on the left leg and not the right leg, so that would tell you that maybe not Academy Award in Nate McLouth's future.
And you're absolutely right. It is reviewable. You ever try to sell one like that?
I did. I was in Arizona for the Giants, and it was close. And Buck Showalter, the manager then, came out and argued it. And I thought, well, what's the worst thing I could do? Call me back? Look foolish in front of 30,000 people? I look foolish in front of 30,000 people every night. I didn't care.
Third attempt, bunted foul. So Treinen unable to lay down a successful sacrifice bunt as he did back in the third inning. Now 2 away for Anthony Rendon, with McLouth on at first. Rendon drove in a run back in the third inning with a sacrifice fly. His 46th run batted in of the season. Time called by the home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. First pitch from Samardzija, up the middle, base hit center field. McLouth will hold at second, so the Nationals now with 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Our Game Changer profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. Anthony Rendon out of Rice University, consensus National Player of the Year back in 2010.
And as quick as I've seen from A to B in a long time, and what I mean by that is when his hands start to the point of contact, not a whole lot of movement, watch the foot down early, and the quick throw of the bats, as quick as I've ever seen. 3 hits in the first game, now a knock in the second game, and a lot of people in D.C. think he should be going to Minneapolis on July 15th.
7 hits in the series for Rendon. Only Lance Berkman hit more home runs at Rice University than Anthony Rendon.
He has a swing that's very simple and low maintenance. And with his bat speed, there's not a lot of holes in his swing. And he's a guy I think is going to hit 300 for a long time.
Pitch inside to Kevin Franzen, 1 for 2 in the game. Two on, 2 out, top of the 5th inning, following a 55-minute rain delay. Wilson Ramos took Samardzija deep on his first pitch following the delay.
See, this is where Jeff Samardzija's got so much better throughout his career. Back in the day when he just started, this is where he'd try to throw harder. This is where the fastball would get flatter, and this is where he'd get into trouble. We said early on a key for Samardzija was managing his emotions. Well, this is a good test for him right here. A couple of runners on, 2 outs. And when you talk to Cubs people, they said this is the part where he starts to throw the off speed more than the fastball. In the past, it was the reverse.
Passing inside, now 2-2.
People tell me before the game that the football mentality at times gets Samardzija in trouble, and I just find that hard to believe. I think it's a good thing that he has that makeup, that mentality. You want a guy like that on your team. You want to play behind a guy like that because those are the guys you want to run through a wall for.
Finished his career as the all-time leading receiver at Notre Dame. Base hit up the middle for Franzen. Here comes McLouth. And at third is Rendon. The Nationals take a 4-2 lead. 8th run batted in of the season for Kevin Franzen.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Williams showing a lot of confidence in Kevin Franzen. He started him in the first game. He went 0 for 4. He started him in the second game, and now he's got a couple of base hits. This one, a big one, right back up the middle, right where it came from. And a big 2-out knock for the Washington Nationals, making this a 4-2 game.
In 3 at-bats, Franzen has seen 18 pitches. He has 2 base hits and has driven in a run.
That was a fastball, and that was flat.
Well, 3 hits in the inning for the Nationals, 2 runs in, and Worth drives in a 3rd Nationals run here in the 5th with a base hit to right field. Worth had been 0 for his last 15 with runners in scoring position.
Well, we said he's one of the keys of the game for the Nationals, and you see right there just an inside-out swing by Jason Worth. The sinker chased him, and for the first time in a while, you watch him getting his hands inside the baseball, going the other way. So some big 2-out knocks here by the Nationals in the 5th. That one, the definition of a C9 single, but when you're scuffling like Jason Worth, you'll take it.
James Russell getting up in the Cubs pen. A visit from pitching coach Chris Bosio. Samardzija has allowed 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits and a hit batsman.
That wasn't a bad pitch. That was just bad luck for the Cubs and Samardzija. That was all over Jason Worth's hands. He did a nice job of fighting it off.
We take you back to the second inning when Adam LaRoche took Samardzija deep, his 11th of the season. That gave the Nationals a 1-0 lead.
2-2 split, down, dug it out. Good low ball hitter. His 11th home run of the year.
And you wonder, FP, as we take a look at Samardzija's numbers this inning, had Renteria challenged that hit by pitch with one out, McLeod at the plate, and the pitcher due up next. You hate to rewrite history, but since the hit batsman, McLeod awarded first, Nationals have scored 2 more runs on 3 base hits.
That's a great point by you, Kenny. I mean, unless I'm missing something, that ball didn't hit Nate McLeod. And that's a play that's definitely reviewable. Maybe just didn't get word in time, but there was a trip to the mound. There was plenty of time. For those of you that don't know, once the pitcher's on the mound, the batter's in the box, you can't review the play anymore, but that wasn't the case. There was plenty of time to review that.
Now, it also would have been very hard to reverse that call. It was so close, and we certainly could not tell, so there's no guarantee that it would have been overturned either. This ball gets past Rizzo. Another run scores. Nationals now lead 6-2.
It would seem, based on what we've seen here in the 5th inning, that one team really came out ready to play. And maybe one team less than ready, I guess is a nice way to put it. Anthony Rizzo, a guy with as good a glove as anybody over there, for some reason, just can't come up with that in-between hop. And I don't know if the infield's wet and the ball skipped on him or not, but if you ask him, I'm sure he'll tell you that's a play that he should have made.
6th error committed by Rizzo this season. Zimmerman, the 9th batter of the inning for the Nationals. For the Cubs, their first error of the last 6 games. Zimmerman 0 for 2.
I mean, if you've ever gone for a long run and stopped for about, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes and then tried to resume the run, you usually don't feel as good as when you're in the middle of your run, you're in your groove. I think that's what Samardzija's going through right now. He's having trouble starting this whole thing back up again because he was nice before the rain delay.
And he warmed up for quite some time towards the end of the delay.
That's a good point. Trying to get that lather going again that he had before the rain came. Just isn't happening yet.
29th pitch this inning from number 29. Zimmerman strikes out, but the Nationals bat around. On the first pitch of the inning, Ramos took Samardzija deep. Nationals score 4 in the 5th, now lead 6-2. is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Wrigley Field. Nationals now lead the Cubs 6-2. Washington scoring 4 runs in the top of the 5th inning. Darwin Barney leading off against Blake Trinan. Trinan looking to win for the first time in the major leagues. Mike Oltis come out on deck to bat for Jeff Samardzija. Tried it off the mound. Barney is retired. Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Here's Mike Holt, pinch hitting for Samardzija. Holt batting just .142 this season, but he leads all National League rookies with 10 home runs and is second with 25 runs batted in.
Yeah, it's a shame that the rain got in the way of this game. I was really enjoying the pitcher's duel that was developing, but you see Castillo talking to his pitcher right there. They're trying to figure out what happened, and I just don't think he got loose again, or as loose or in the rhythm that he was in before the rain.
This will match the second shortest outing of the season for Samardzija.
You see that right there? He's kind of playing with his arm a little bit.
Lasted only 3 innings in Milwaukee on June 1st, allowed 8 runs in that game.
I'll tell you what, based on what happened here tonight and the rain delay, I'd still want that guy on my team.
Absolutely.
Anytime. He gets it. And that's the biggest compliment I can give somebody. Absolutely gets it. I mean, if you're going to trade for him, though, you're going to have to give up a lot. There's no doubt about it.
Under contract with the Cubs through next season. Holt draws a 1-out walk. First walk issued by Trinan tonight.
Kenny, I think that's one of the most attractive things about Samardzija, besides the fact that he's really good at what he does, is he's under control through the 2015 season. I mean, there's going to be a day when you have to pay that guy, and he's going to make a lot of money. But right now, he's turned down a few nice offers from the Cubs, unofficially, officially, reportedly.
Theo Epstein, Cubs president of baseball operations. Here's Chris Coughlin, and he rips this foul down the right field line. 0-1.
Nelson Robledo right here. He's protecting the catcher. Yeah, thanks for that. Way to have my back. I got you. Don't worry. I'll get the next one. Get some ice on that calf.
Coughlin 0 for 2. Pops this one up to the left side. Desmond backpedaling, 2 away. Steve McCaddy, Nationals pitching coach.
Well, when you look at Trinan's first 4 starts as a major leaguer, first one 72 pitches, second one they stretched him out to 102, then he went 63 and 79. He's at 73 pitches right now, and Xavier Cedeno, the lefty for the Nationals, is ready to go, and I think Steve McCaddy just buying time for Cedeno to get loose should this inning get to Anthony Rizzo on deck. I think then Matt Williams would go for the left-on-left matchup.
Well, Trinan needs to record one more out to become the pitcher of record on the positive side for the Nationals.
It's a big at-bat for the Cubs right here. You want this line to move to Rizzo. That's your guy. You want him up down by 4. Try to make it a 1-run game in one swing.
Sweeney has struck out twice. Fouls off the first pitch from Trinan, 0-1. Nationals lead 6-2, looking to sweep the day-night doubleheader. Washington winning the opener 3-0. Cubs won the first 2 games of the series, 5-3 and 7-2. 1-2 on Sweeney.
Yeah, it was a slider right there from Trinan. It didn't do a whole lot except for act like a changeup at 84. 10 miles an hour slower, it backed up, and Sweeney swung right through it.
Headed down towards the Nats bullpen once again.
Maybe try a first baseman's glove down there, because the one you got in your hand is not working.
Easy play for LaRoche. Inning comes to an end through 5 here at Wrigley. 6-2 Nationals. Celebrating the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. It opened on April 23rd, 1914, when the Chicago Federals defeated the Kansas City Packers. And FP, you were telling me earlier, this was your favorite place to play in all of Major League Baseball.
It is. It's still my favorite place to come. I can't think of a better place to have a day-night doubleheader. But no matter what year it is outside Wrigley Park, you walk through the gates and it's 1920 in here. It's timeless and just has a special place in my heart. I love it.
28-year-old left-hander James Russell out of the Cubs pen facing Wilson Ramos, who led off the top of the 5th inning with a home run on the first pitch from Jeff Samardzija following the rain delay. And that opened up the floodgates for the Nationals in the 5th. They scored 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 Cubs error, and now lead 6-2.
They're talking about all the renovations to Wrigley Field here, but I like it just the way it is. I know the players today want all the modern amenities and the clubhouse and the weight room and everything, and I understand that. But just when you come into Wrigley Field every single time, it's just a big party with a baseball game going on in the middle. And like I said, one of my favorite places I've ever played, and now we're sitting in a booth where Harry Carey used to broadcast. It's just been an amazing experience for me all the way around. I love it here.
Ramos pops it up. And the catch is made by the second baseman, Barney, for out number 1. Tonight's game is sponsored by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of Major League Baseball. And by Burger King. Try the new BBQ Bacon Whopper Sandwich only at Burger King. Speaking of Harry Carey, Desmond fouls it off to the right side, 0-1.
The first game I ever played, it was a foggy night, a lot like Thursday, and I was running out to center field. I turned around, and Harry was in this booth right here, and they had a spotlight on him. He was singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It was the first time I had seen it in public, not on WGN, and it was just a surreal experience.
Valbuena across to retire Desmond for out number 2. We mentioned earlier, this is the last scheduled doubleheader at Wrigley prior to today was July of '83 against the Nationals' predecessors, the Montreal Expos. The Expos swept the Twin Bill that day, July 4th, '83. It was a Monday. 2 home runs apiece for Andre Dawson and Gary Carter that day.
Wow. The Hawk. Well, you half expected him to come out of the ivy on Thursday with all the fog here.
Down the right field line off the bat of McLouth. He is hit at second.
We'll see how they rule this. I think they're going to rule it a double. Not an easy play right here by Anthony Rizzo. But he's had a few get by him tonight. One an error. That one ruled a double. And you wonder how the dirt's playing after the rain delay, but Anthony Rizzo having a tough time down there at first base. Sure-handed first baseman. Just one of those things.
So McLouth with a pair of doubles and that key at bat in the 5th inning when it was ruled that he was hit by the pitch.
I didn't see it. I didn't see the ball hit him, and I'm kind of shocked the Cubs didn't review it.
So with McLouth on at second and 2 away, former Cub Scott Hairston pinch hitting for Blake Trinan as Castillo heads out for a visit with Russell.
I mean, he might have reached first. He might have made an out, but we'll never know because Rick Renteria decided not to review it. And I think it was a big part of this ballgame so far. You made a great point. With 1 out, it kept the inning alive. And
if McLouth were retired during that at bat, pitcher up next with 2 outs.
Yeah.
But we will never know. Hairston pinch hitting for Trinan. Will allow 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings. Leaves with a 6-2 lead.
Russell, a 5-pitch guy to the bullpen. He has a fastball at 88, a slider at 80, He'll cut the fastball at 87. And a really good changeup right there at 80 miles an hour. And also throw a curve. He's more of a lefty specialist last year. They've been using him in different roles this year.
1-1 to Hairston, missing away, ball 2. Now the reason for the day-night doubleheader, it was a scheduled doubleheader. These teams will not play tomorrow in consideration of neighborhood traffic and congestion in connection with the annual Pride Parade here in Chicago. It will be the first scheduled Sunday off for the Cubs in 82 years, since June 19th, 1932, the Cubs' last scheduled Sunday off.
Yeah, I've talked to locals around here. They said it's a great time, and the traffic situation is absolute gridlock, so you understand why they scheduled a doubleheader here today. And it will officially be my first Sunday off in 25 years of professional baseball.
Hope you enjoy it.
Well, I feel like I should be watching a football game and listening to you.
Not yet. It's funny you should mention that, because I did some research today. The last 2 scheduled Sunday off days in all of baseball, not counting international travel. 2012 in St. Pete, due to the Republican National Convention. The Rays had that day off. And in '95, the St. Louis Rams played their first home game after the move from Los Angeles at Busch Stadium. So the Cardinals had a Sunday off back in September of '95 due to football, as Hairston pops it up. And the catch is made just behind the mound by Barney. Middle of the 6th here at Wrigley. They're playing on Saturday. Nationals and Braves deadlocked 42-38 atop the National League East. And Matt Williams' first season as Nationals manager. First pitch from the left-hander Xavier Cedeno. A called strike. Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Cedeno recalled today. Nationals sending Taylor Hill back down to AAA Syracuse. Rizzo is 0 for 2 today. Has not gotten the ball out of the infield. Look at his numbers this year, FP, versus the last 3 seasons.
Well, he's made some adjustments to his swing. He's actually choked up on the bat a little bit more. He's got his hands in a more relaxed position.
And he sends this one to deep center. McLeod back. He is on the track, and he makes the catch up against the ivy.
Well, I thought this ball was out of here. Watch the swing by Anthony Rizzo. Got a fastball away from Xavier Cedeno, drove it to left center field, and we saw Denard Span in Game 1 with some amazing plays in center field. But how about Nate McLeod? He's doing it all here tonight. A couple of doubles, a hit by pitch, and now almost disappears into the ivy with a great running catch. Look at him with his right hand out, feeling for the bricks, feeling for the ivy, and then he figures, I don't care, I'm going to make this play. Gold Glove winner for Pittsburgh in 2008, showing it off right there.
And an all-star that season as well. We saw some outstanding plays from center fielder Denard Span of the Nationals in the first game today.
Unbelievable plays. I mean, the wind was blowing from right to left. He had to make some full-speed adjustments, and that was a great swing by Rizzo right there. And I think earlier today that might have got out of here, but McLeod with a little robbery in the ivy.
Starlin Castro 1 for 2. Rich this one to left. It's a base hit. Bounces to the ivy. Castro on his way to second, and he is in. Now it's time for Pepsi's Real Big Things You Need to Know. Starlin Castro with yet another base hit, most in the National League since he made his Major League debut in May of 2010. Making a real big summer with 3 new flavors of Pepsi made with real sugar. Grab one while you can.
Well, just another extra base hit for Starlin Castro. Right up there with Troy Tulowitzki for most extra base hits by a shortstop. This one in the gap and double. And so far, Xavier Cedeno not fooling anybody out of the Nats bullpen. Some pretty good hacks by the Cubs hitters this inning.
Balbuena at the plate. His 2-run homer in the 4th off Blake Trinan, accounting for the only Cubs runs to this point. Fourth inning. First home run allowed by Trinan in the major leagues after 33 2/3 innings pitched.
Well, that's just a beautiful swing right there. Some serious extension on a 3-1 fastball right down the middle. He knew it was coming. He beat him to the point of contact. And he's had 2 really good at-bats here tonight, barreling up the baseball. Good balance throughout that swing. As we used to say, he back-legged him.
Castro takes his lead off second. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Nationals lead the Cubs 6-2. Right field. Worth moving to his right for out number 2.
Well, I think this is a big part of this baseball game for a couple of reasons. You know, obviously you get a run closer if you get a base hit right here. You make it a 3-1 game. First game of the doubleheader, Matt Williams had to go to his A bullpen. He went to Tyler Clippard and Rafael Soriano. So they've already pitched today. If you make this a 3-run deficit, you would think Matt Williams would be tempted to go back to those guys again in game 2. So now you're asking your 8th inning and 9th inning guys to pitch 2 games in one day just by getting a base hit right here and making this a 3-run game. 4-run lead, Matt Williams won't go to his A bullpen. But in a safe situation, he'll go to Clippard in the 8th, and he'll go to Soriano in the 9th.
Castillo fouls it off to the right side. 0 for 2 in the game. Nationals scoring 4 runs in the top of the 5th inning following a 55-minute rain delay to break open a 2-2 game. Here in the sixth, Starlin Castro with a one-out double. 0-2 on the Cubs catcher Wellington Castillo. Desmond unable to make the play. So the Cubs with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Here in the sixth, it's an infield hit for Castillo.
Yeah, nice job by Ian Desmond to slow this down. But when you talk about Castillo, if he fields this, he might have a chance at first base. Well, this is the Castro double in the gap that we saw earlier with 1 out, but this is Ian Desmond going into the hole, essentially saving a run for the Nats. But I think if he fields that cleanly, with the speed of the Cubs catcher, he has a chance at first. But all of a sudden, this turned out to be a big part of this baseball game for the Chicago Cubs. They're trying to jump right back in.
Aaron Barrett in the Nationals pen. Here comes pitching coach Steve McCatty. With Sherholtz at the plate, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the bottom of the sixth.
Well, this is just a stall to get Barrett loose for Darwin Barney should Nate Sherholtz reach. I've been to these meetings on the mound. They'll tell you, okay, what do you want to go with here? What's the first pitch? Trust your stuff, all that stuff. Meanwhile, you're standing there saying, you're just stalling for time, so if this guy reaches, you can bring the righty in. Kind of what I do every day on TV.
Sherholtz 1 for 2. He was at the plate when the tarp was brought out. Following the 55-minute rain delay, Sherholtz struck out to end the 4th inning. First and third, 2 out.
Nate hitting better against lefties this year than he is righties.
Castro on third. Castillo over at first. 2-1 to Sherholtz in for a called strike. Now 2-2.
I think the location of that fastball to Sherholtz is where you go in this situation. Against lefties, he'll use the whole field. He gets a little pull conscious against right-handers at times, but when he faces lefties, he has a tendency to stay in there longer and hit it to left.
Called strike 3. Cubs strand 2 in the 6th. We'll return after a word from your local Fox station. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Got that, FP? Over 400 devices. Visit MLB.com for details. And you can follow every game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit MLB.com today. 25-year-old right-hander Neil Ramirez, the third pitcher of the game for the Cubs, facing the top of the order, Anthony Rendon. What a day, what a series for Rendon. 3 hits in the opener. In tonight's game, 1 for 2, scored a run, and has driven in a run. So in the series, 7 hits in 14 at-bats off Cubs pitching for Rendon.
Yeah, he's going to see a fastball at 94, a slider at 87, and a curveball at 78 from Neil Ramirez. Talk about how short Anthony Rendon is of the baseball. Watch his foot get down early. His hands go back, and it's just A to B in the strike zone as quick as anybody I've seen this year. Maybe Evan Gattis from the Braves is short to the baseball as Rendon, but he has had some bent arm homers this year where he hasn't got extension, and he's hit the ball in the upper deck. One comes to mind in San Diego at Petco where the ball doesn't go. Hit in the upper deck in left center field.
Rendon strikes out. So Ramirez wins the battle.
Check this out.
Wow. 3 home runs for Bryce Harper. Think he's ready to come back?
No, I think he needs a little more. I know the Double-A manager doesn't think he's ready to come back. 4 for 5, 3 home runs, 5 RBI. He is ready. Call him up.
Doing it against the Akron Rubber Ducks. Nationals have 2 home runs in this game, LaRoche and Ramos. Here's Kevin Franzen. Fouled off to the right side. Franzen 2 for 3 with an RBI. This is April 25th against the Padres. The left thumb injury suffered by Bryce Harper, who has gone deep 3 times tonight for Harrisburg.
Now, there's a lot of criticism that he slid head first into third base, and I would say 99% of triples I've seen throughout my baseball career, that's what you do. You slide head first into third. It wasn't a matter of Bryce playing too hard. It was just a fluke thing. He had that thumb injury in high school, and it just reared its ugly head at the worst time.
And now getting the opportunity to play with his brother with Harrisburg.
Very cool. And I know Matt Williams wants him back, and we talked about Yasiel Puig and the jolt of energy he gave the Dodgers last year. The Nationals are hoping that Bryce's return is the same kind of deal.
Nationals hope to have him back early this week.
I feel like after tonight, it'll be Monday.
If we get a couple more rain delays, it'll be Sunday before you know it.
I don't even know what day it is anymore. I've been here since 8.
Nationals will fly home tonight. A rare Sunday off day. And then an 8-game homestand as Franzen heads down to first.
Somewhere on the Nats bench, Nate McLouth is saying, you really don't have to let it hit you, Kevin.
No doubt about that one.
I got him on the elbow guard, and he'll take the base. Free 90 feet.
In case you joined us late, FP referring to the at-bat in the 5th inning. It was ruled that Nate McLouth was hit by a pitch in the foot. Certainly did not look like it to us on the numerous replays. And Rick Renteria did not challenge the call on the field. And the Nationals would score 4 runs in the inning. They had already scored 1 on the Ramos home run and extended their lead to 6-2.
And the mothership in New York would have had the same look that you and I had 7 or 10 times. And I think they would have brought Nate McLouth back and made him hit. I think the Cubs would have won that challenge.
And the Cubs this season, FP, have challenged more plays than any other team. 28 challenges. And they've been successful 14 times, second to Kansas City.
In our meeting with Rick Renteria today, your first question was, how's instant replay treating you? How do you like it? And he
said he thinks it's worked well so far.
Yeah. He obviously is using it.
More than any other manager.
And I was against it the first couple of weeks of the season. They've ironed out the kinks. They've gotten it right, and it's working way better than I ever imagined. The ones that were making me scratch my head is where you're seeing one thing and you're saying, wait a minute, it's right there, and they wouldn't overturn it. But now, for the most part, they're getting them all right, and it's going quick.
On manager challenges, those plays have been overturned 51% of the time. On umpire-initiated reviews, only 26%. Matt Williams has been pretty successful, 12 of 18.
Yeah, he's on fire. I think he started out 0 for 5. But he's locked in all of a sudden, and they're getting them all right. The one aspect I still don't enjoy about it is, a manager can go out and stand up for his player in an argument. Even if his player is wrong, players love it when you come out and you argue for him. That's why everybody loved Bobby Cox. Everybody talked to, that's what Bobby did. He didn't care if you were right or you were wrong. He was going to come out and stand up for you. I think with replay now, that whole aspect of the managers having players back and you wanted to run through the wall for your manager because of it is gone.
Worth pops it up. Foul territory. Catcher's made in front of the Cubs dugout by Valbuena for out number 2. Well, Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota. It promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night as Derek Jeter takes the field in his last All-Star game. Special coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 7:30 on Fox. The National League leaders by position.
Who do you got as the most valuable guy in that one right there? There's some good ball players.
All-Star voting through July 3rd. LaRoche, deep center field. Into the glove of Sweeney. 7th inning stretch time in Chicago. on Fox is sponsored by the new comedy Tammy from Warner Brothers Pictures in theaters July 2nd. And by the new Samsung Galaxy S5. The next big thing is here.
Drive to win, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it's the Nationals who lead this game 6-2. Bottom of the 7th inning. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Nationals. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Cubs. 28-year-old left-hander Ross Detweiler, who pitched 4 scoreless innings in relief Tuesday in Milwaukee, makes his 22nd appearance. Danny Espinosa now in the game at second base for Washington. He will bat in the number 9 spot. Detweiler in the number 2 spot in the order.
Well, Detweiler was the MVP for the Nationals the other night in Milwaukee, that 16-inning, 5+ hour marathon.
Longest game in Nationals history.
He came in, he threw 46 pitches in those 4 innings. 46 of them were fastballs. Jose Lobaton was catching, and all he did was put down number 1.
Wow! What a play.
Well, what a play. You should have seen it, Ross Detweiler. So here's a fastball pitched, and here's a fastball hit right back at him, and this is how much time you have if you're a major league pitcher on a comebacker. Line drive to Detweiler. I thought he charged this nicely.
So with 1 away, Junior Lake pinch hitting for Ramirez. Lake in the series opener on Thursday night crashed into a steel door out in right center, suffered bruises on his forehead and his knee. Pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
A tremendous effort by Lake. He's such a big bruiser. You were just wondering if the door was okay when he ran into it the other night. And I think one of those dents on that door is from Junior Lake.
Here it is on the Zimmerman deep fly. Zimmerman ended up with a double. Lake removed from the game.
And you wonder if he had a concussion because his head hit that door so hard, but everything else sore for Junior Lake, and he missed a few games. And the head was okay. Tremendous effort, a fearless effort by the Cubs center fielder on Thursday. If it was Bryce Harper, they would have said he's playing too hard.
Payoff pitch from Detweiler. Right field. Worth moving to his left, makes the catch for out number 2. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball, presents the walk-off. Great walk-offs are waiting at foxsports.com/Budweiser. Grab some buds. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Wrigley Field. A 55-minute rain delay earlier during the bottom of the 4th inning. Nationals would score 4 in the top of the 5th to chase Jeff Samardzija. Blake Trinan, the Washington starter, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings. He is in line for his first major league victory. Chris Coughlin 0 for 3, the 2009 National League Rookie of the Year with the Marlins. Two and 1. On the ground to the right side, LaRoche to the bag. Detweiler retires the Cubs in order in the 7th. Welcome back to Baseball Night in America from Wrigley Field, top of the 8th inning. Nationals lead the Cubs 6-2. Pedro Strop, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Cubs, and if anybody's happy that Jeff Samardzija is no longer in the game, it has to be Ryan Zimmerman. 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, now 1 for 19 lifetime against Samardzija.
Yeah, there's just some guys you don't pick up, and obviously Ryan Zimmerman having trouble picking up the Cubs' right-handed starter tonight, Samardzija. Hunter Wendelstedt took that right off the leg. Ryan Zimmerman, Wellington Castillo asking Hunter if he's okay. Look where that inside of his knee. And you know, catchers will block balls without a runner on just so they protect the home plate umpire. You see that all the time. Hoping that maybe it buys your ball club a few calls here and there, but more importantly, protecting a guy, because you build a relationship with him throughout the course of a 9-inning game, and for some reason, that one just got by Castillo, and Hunter, as tough as they come, says, I'm okay.
Hunter Wendelstedt did not work the first game with the scheduled doubleheader. Jerry Lane has this game off. Lane, the crew chief. He was the home plate umpire in game 1. Well, it's not Samardzija, it's Strop. Zimmerman down on strikes for the 3rd consecutive at-bat.
Well, Strop, a guy that throws 95 miles an hour. When he's in the strike zone, he's as tough as anybody. He has trouble with walks. He's walked 15 guys this year in 25 and a third innings, but right there, a nice slider locking up Ryan Zimmerman for his 3rd strikeout of the night.
So with one away, here's Wilson Ramos, who gave the Nationals the lead. First pitch thrown by Samardzija following the 55-minute rain delay. Ramos took him deep for his 2nd home run of the season. That gave Washington a 3-2 advantage. They would score 3 more runs in the inning. In case you missed it, Bryce Harper with 3 home runs tonight for Double-A Harrisburg. His return is imminent. And we talked to Matt Williams about some of the shuffling he is going to have to do. And it's certainly a good problem to have. Charging Valbuena. And Ramos is retired.
I mean, there's a lot of things Matt Williams can do when Bryce Harper comes back. He's probably going to move guys around a lot, but you look at Wilson Ramos right here with a chopper off the plate. Just coming off the DL with a pulled hamstring, so he's not going to run hard on this, especially in the 6-2 game. His manager has told him as much. We'd rather have you in the lineup than pulling that hamstring again, so just getting down the line. Smart move by Ramos, but a really nice play by Luis Valbuena right there on the bare hand, underhand throw, right on the money. He's been the MVP here for the Cubs tonight by far. Offense, defense, doing it all at third base.
2-run homer back in the 4th inning. Ian Desmond 0 for 3. So you have Rendon playing so well at third, Zimmerman in left, Span in center, and Matt Williams told us they've all made great cases for staying where they are when Harper returns. So what do you do?
Well, I think because Danny Espinosa has struggled recently at second base that you bring Zimmerman back into third base. You move Rendon to second. He plays a really nice second base. You put Bryce Harper in left and you go with basically your opening day lineup. You know, I think Ryan Zimmerman, for those of you that don't know, very comfortable in left field, but he's a team guy and he'll go wherever Matt Williams puts him. But he and Desmond obviously stay at shortstop, and you put Rendon at second base and see what happens. Those things have a way of working themselves out. It's been the most frequently asked question to Matt Williams, and it's something that you really can't approach until the day of. Okay, this is what we're doing today, but then the next day, based on matchups, based on who you're playing, you might put Ryan Zimmerman at first base against a tough lefty and give Adam LaRoche the day off. And put Rendon back to third. So there's a lot of things for Matt Williams. Kenny, with all due respect, when people say that's a good problem to have, it's hard to keep everybody happy.
Sure is.
I don't know how happy everybody was in Los Angeles when, you know, they're rotating 4 outfielders in there. Everybody wants to play.
What a day for Nate McLeod. 2 hits in the opener. 2 doubles in this game. Hit by a pitch. He has scored 2 runs and made a terrific catch up against the ivy in center field back in the 6th inning. One from Strope. Foul back to the screen.
Ian Desmond trying to go at first base.
McLeod facing a former teammate. He and Strope were in Baltimore together.
So Ian Desmond with 8 stolen bases on the year, 14 home runs, and he's had back-to-back 2020 seasons as a shortstop. Trying to do it again.
No major league shortstop has hit 30 home runs since 2011. J.J. Hardy and Troy Tulowitzki.
That's a good trivia question.
Desmond on pace with 14 as we approach the last 2 days of June. Two to McLeod. He went around. Middle of the 8th in Chicago. 6-2 Washington. Box is sponsored by Moto G from Motorola and by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. The new Fit is a great fit for you. Bottom of the 8th here in Chicago. 6-2 lead for the Nationals. Washington winning the opener today 3-0 as Ryan Sweeney leads off against Ross Detweiler. And Matt Williams told us, FP, prior to the game, we need to throw out the mindset that teams usually split doubleheaders. We need to win this one. Right back to Detweiler. One away.
Yeah, he just said you approach it like it's another game on the schedule. We have tomorrow off. We won one game today, and it's one day at a time, the old cliche. But yeah, if you get in the mindset of, split a doubleheader, or it's a doubleheader, it's tough to sweep, then you start thinking negatively. It's just another game on the schedule, and that's how they've approached it. And I thought that was interesting when he said that. Absolutely.
Anthony Rizzo 0 for 3. Robbed by McLouth his last time up. Pops this one up to the third baseman Rendon for out number 2. Well, before coming to Chicago, Nationals won 2 of 3 in Milwaukee, but the Brewers have now won 4 in a row. Last game of the Washington series and their next 3. Brewers with a record of 51-32. They lead the National League Central.
Well, that's a good squad, and the Nats went in there and caught them at a good time. They were coming back from Colorado playing the Rockies, and the Rockies have done studies when you leave altitude on how teams do, how they do after homestands. The recovery after you play at Mile High takes a little bit, so the Nats caught a flat ball club the first couple of days, but you could just see that the season that Ron Renicke's team is having is just amazing so far, and I think it's good for Major League Baseball when the Brewers win. That's such a great town, such a great baseball town with such great history. It's nice to see those guys doing what they're doing up there, and quite frankly, I hope they keep it up.
Starlin Castro 2 for 3. Fastball missing inside from Detweiler, now 3-1.
I got news for you. Another fastball is coming from Detweiler. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, and it acts like 2 pitches. But he's a guy that was a big part of the Nats rotation in 2012 when they won the National League East, and he's had trouble adjusting to the bullpen. But I think a big-time confidence boost for Detweiler in his 4-inning outing against the Brewers. It's not easy. It's like going from a starter and an everyday player to a bench guy. You got to learn how to pinch hit, learn how to play every 4 or 5 days. Same goes for a starter. You're used to being in there every 5th day, and now you don't know when you're going to play.
Castro down on strikes. A 9-pitch 8th inning for Detweiler. We head to the 9th in Chicago. left-hander Hector Rondon on to pitch for the Cubs here in the 9th. Facing Danny Espinosa batting for the first time. Rondon, the 5th Cubs pitcher of the night. And Espinosa fouls it back to the screen, 0-1.
Yeah, Rondon with a big fastball at 95 miles an hour. He has a slider and a cutter to go with it. The cutter at 91, the slider at 82. And 96 right there with some good sink.
Atlanta Braves have swept their doubleheader in Philadelphia, 10-3 and 5-1 in the nightcap. So the Braves now with a half-game lead on the Nationals. Washington with a win here tonight would once again be tied with Atlanta atop the NL East. Nationals reaching the midway point tonight, game number 81.
A lot of people last year said the Nationals had a bad season at 10 games over 500. Anytime you're over 500, I think it's a good season. And 10 games over could win the National League East this year.
10 over last year, and they finished 10 back. Espinosa down on strikes. How about Tim Lincecum on Wednesday against the Padres? His 2nd career no-hitter.
I mean, just still finding a way to get it done. And I guess you just have that confidence against a team, and he's done it to the Padres twice. Look at the bottom.
Incredible. Joins Sandy Koufax. The only 2 pitchers in baseball history with 2 no-hitters, 2 Cy Young Awards, and 2 World Series titles. How about this matchup? Rondon against Rendon. I know you've been waiting for this all season.
Absolutely. I'm going to take Rondon.
Or blank and
Yes.
DON.
Well, it's a good fastball against a good fastball hitter.
And Rendon smashes this one to center field. The catch is made by Sweeney, so Rondon wins the battle.
Well, Ross Detweiler used to be a starting pitcher. Now he's a reliever. Relievers don't hit very often, and he gets to go up there and try to turn around a little 95, 96 mile an hour fastball from Rondon. Got a good swing. He can hit.
Detweiler in his career, 7 hits in 113 at-bats.
Like I said, he can hit.
He has 7.
That's 7 more than a lot of people I know.
You know what he does not have, which he can record tonight by pitching 3 innings?
A save.
No career saves in 106 appearances. Now, he did start 69 games, so 38 appearances out of the pen with no saves.
Taking or swinging? I'm saying swing.
Takes ball 4. 3rd career walk. Well, next Saturday, full day of Major League action, beginning with the Diamondbacks and the Braves on Fox Sports 1. Then Baseball Night in America on Fox. Orioles take on the Red Sox, Giants and Padres, Rangers and Mets. Our doubleheader begins next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Continues at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Some good games.
Here's Jason Worth.
Right now, Rondon just kind of spinning out of there, flying open with his front side, and his release point a little bit tardy, and that's why you're seeing these fastballs up and in. Slow down, stay closed a little longer, get that release point out front, and get that sinker down the zone in the mid-90s.
Nationals 4 runs in the 5th to break open a 2-2 game. Worth drove in one of the runs that inning.
You see Rondon frustrated right now. I don't think he's getting a good grip on the baseball. Went back, got the rosin. Very humid right now. And for whatever reason, not close. And the worst thing he can do right now is take a little off and start to aim it.
Second consecutive walk issued by Rondon. Detweiler moves to second.
Here comes Chris Bosio, Cubs pitching coach. See Rizzo coming to the mound, all the infielders coming to the mound. I used to always love to eavesdrop on these.
Two outs, top of the 9th inning as we check out the leading vote getters in the American League.
I mean, on paper, that looks like a better team to me. The National League team, very good. And Josh Donaldson, I think, the most underrated player in that bunch. Watching him in Oakland this season, he's one of the better players I've seen this year. Just the swagger, the confidence that whole group has in Oakland. The Nats played him in mid-May in the Bay Area, and to this day still the best team I've seen the Nats play by far this year. Not even close.
Adam LaRoche homered back in the 2nd inning. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 9th in Chicago. 1-1.
That's a good trip by Chris Bosio. He got him back in the strike zone. Tightened him up. That's what pitching coaches do. You see something from the bench, little mechanical flaw. Go out there, keep it simple, pump him up. And now he's got a couple of strikes on Adam LaRoche.
A 1-2 from Rondon. Base hit into right field. So LaRoche drives in another run as Detweiler scores, and the Nationals now lead 7-2.
Well, that's just a bullet. Anthony Rizzo had no shot at that. Little slippage right there in the wet dirt at first base, but a bullet off the bat of Adam LaRoche. His 43rd RBI of the year. Scores Ross Detweiler. Makes this 7-2. I'm telling you what, people that haven't seen Adam LaRoche play, the numbers speak for themselves, but he's saved so many runs at first base. He's one of the best defensive first basemen I've ever seen. I played with JT Snow in San Francisco. He saved so many runs with his glove, picking up his infielders with errant throws. I don't know if there's anybody better at picking the baseball on bad throws at first base in the big leagues. Former Gold Glove winner. Should be an all-star.
Now with 43 runs batted in, Rondon the first to retire Zimmerman, who is 0 for 5 tonight. Nationals add to their lead, now 7-2. He's been perfect in the 7th and the 8th, and he has even scored a run.
Let's have a good night going for his first career save right here. And I told you that at-bat earlier was a big at-bat for the Cubs. It might have been even a bigger at-bat for the Nationals to keep it at a 4-run deficit. I know it's 5 right now. But had they got that base hit and made it a 3-run deficit, Matt Williams would have had to lean on his big bullpen guys. And now he gets to let Ross Detweiler go out there for 3 and try to get a save.
Valbuena leads things off for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 9th. He hit a 2-run shot back in the 4th off Blake Trinan, accounting for the only 2 Cubs runs in this game.
That was a curveball from Ross Detweiler. And a pretty good one.
This is Espinosa. 1 out. Time for our King Play of the Day, brought to you by Burger King. 5th inning. Did the pitch hit Nate McLouth? It was ruled by Hunter Wendelstedt that it did. Cubs did not challenge the play. And the Nationals would go on to score 3 more runs in the inning.
Well, I think you made the best point of the night when you said, you know, if they made him come back and they retired him, that it would have been 2 outs with Blake Trinan hitting.
In a 3-2 game.
In a 3-2 game. That was obviously the turning point of this ball game.
But instead, the Nationals would score 3 more runs in the inning. It is now 7-2 Washington. Great job by our entire crew tonight, led by producer Jeff Gowan, director Jim Lynch, associate director Eric Billigmeyer, broadcast associate Alex Olson, our technical producer Craig Marlowe, technical director Joel Blosser, Marty Aronoff crunching the numbers along with Dave Schwabe and Matt Banovic. A 1-2 from Detweiler, missing away. $32,267 on hand here at Wrigley Field. Second of a day-night doubleheader as Castillo is down on strikes, and the Cubs now down to their final out of the night. Second strikeout for Detweiler. A rare Sunday off for both teams tomorrow. First scheduled Sunday off day for the Cubs in 82 years. They will head to Boston. They get a 3-game series on Monday. Here's Shearholtz. He was at the plate when the rain started to fall back in the 4th inning. A 55-minute rain delay.
Well, that was a turning point of this game for me. I know the McLouth at-bat was big, but you know, after the rain delay, Wilson Ramos set the tone for the Nationals. He came out swinging at the first pitch he saw, made it a 3-2 game, and it appeared that one team was really ready to come out after the rain delay and one team wasn't. Whether that's the case, that's how it looked.
One to Shearholtz. Now the Cubs down to their final strike. Detweiler has retired all 8 Cubs he has faced, in line for his first career save. Blake Trinan, 1 strike away from his first major league victory. A 1-2 from Detweiler. Popped up to the right side. This should do it. LaRoche back in fair territory, makes the catch. The Washington Nationals sweep the doubleheader after losing the first 2 games of this series. Nationals defeat the Chicago Cubs 7-2. Nate McLouth, big game. First major league victory for 26-year-old Blake Trinan, who attempted to walk on at the University of Arkansas. Coach wouldn't talk to him. We'll come back, wrap things up from Chicago right after these messages. Nationals over the Cubs 7-2.